guys, it's ASMR Girly Gal, and today we're going to be doing Puzzle 20 of Murdoku by Manuel Garand, and this is called The Librarian's House. Let's find this perp and book him. I love the puns. So, we have Adam. He was in the kitchen. We have Bastian. He was on a bed. We have Callie. She was beside a shelf in the study. We have Tina. She was sitting in a chair in the dining room. We have Eden. She was beside the TV. We have Fritz. That's a name I haven't heard in a while. He was in the bathroom. We have Gavin. He was alone with a woman. Promiscuous. We have Hudson. He was sitting in a chair. And we have Vera, the victim. She was alone with the murderer. Now let's go through and X out to all the shelves and plants and tables. And we're gonna square off the beds. That way it is easier to see everything. Always do this slowly so you get it right, because we don't want to X out something that we should not. Perfect. I might write TV, but I think I'll just put an X. I always debate that. A lot of X's, so table, shelf. Looks great. Oh, okay, perfect, wonderful. So, Adam was in the kitchen. We can't do that yet. Bastian's on the bed. We don't know. Callie was beside a shelf in the study. Too broad. Tina was on a chair in the dining room. Too broad. Eden, she was beside the TV. Okay. Let's double check. There's only one TV. Right here. And the only place she could be beside it would be right here. Perfect, so we know where Eden is. And I always like to write the names A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and then B. So I just know that we got Eden instead of Xing it out there, so we got Eden. Awesome, so we got Eden. Fritz, he was in the bathroom. So that doesn't help us yet. Gavin, he was alone with the woman, not sure. Hudson was sitting in a chair, so he could be here, or there. So Adam, he was in the kitchen, don't know. Bastian, bed, don't know. She was beside a shelf, don't know. Tina was sitting in a chair in the dining room, so look at this. This is the dining room. These chairs have been X'd out, so Tina has to be right here. Hudson, he was sitting in a chair. Still don't know. Oh, Adam, he was in the kitchen. This is our kitchen. This is the only spot left for Adam, so let's do this. Side note, you guys, but I got a cornhole game. I was about to call it beanhole. I'm gonna call it beanhole game. And I got it at Marshall's, but it was like 25 bucks, but it's kind of janky. But like the real boards are like $200, so I'm trying to find one on Marketplace. So shout out if you play cornhole, and maybe don't get the ones from Marshall's because they kind of bounce and they're not real wood. But that's totally random. So I love cornhole, beanhole, and darts and golf lately. So kind of fun. Golf is so expensive though. Yeah, so trying to find some cheap courses, but it's very interesting. So we have Adam, Tina, and Eden. We have Fritz. He was in the bathroom, don't know. Bastian. Okay. There's only 2 beds, and we X'd out this one already. So Bastian has to be here or here. But either way, we're going to X out this row, because if he was here or here, it wouldn't matter. These would have to go anyways. So does that help us? Fritz was in the bathroom, so Fritz has to be here or here. So let's actually show you. These are F, F. So let's X out this row as well. Fritz. Okay. Still don't know that. Let's see if we can do him. He was sitting in a chair. He can't be here. He can't be here. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. And nope. The only chair left is right here. So this has to be Hudson. Look at that. So now we know where Bastian is. He's right here. So we have Hudson. And then Bastian. I've never heard that name. Very interesting. Bastian. Very cute. So we did Hudson and Bastian. Very good. And Callie, she was beside a shelf in the study. Well, the only place she could be would be right here. This is the only place beside a shelf, so which means Fritz has to be there. And by process of elimination, we can really figure this out. So let's do that. And then we just have Gavin and Vera. So Gavin, he was alone with the woman. Okay, this is tough. Well, no, because Gavin can't be here because he would just be alone. He wouldn't be a woman, so nobody's in the guest room. This is where it'll get tricky, guys, because we have extra boxes. So nobody can be there. And Vera Bastian because, no. So, oh, here's our C, the X. This has to be Gavin. Which means Vera was alone with Bastian. Because if we put Gavin here, he would be alone with the man. So that doesn't make sense. So this has to be Vera. So the murderer is Bastian. Awesome. And I just double checked that one in the back to be sure, but we are correct. Amazing. Thank you all so much for watching. I love how these are getting a bit tougher and a bit longer. Not that much tougher, but we are using a bit more. I'm sure there's a